Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hunter's Quest podcast. This is your host, Hunter McWaters, and it's good to be back with you guys today. I did not release an episode last week, so I was thinking about it, but with the Thanksgiving holiday, we ended up actually doing some traveling to see some family, and I know a lot of other folks were probably traveling as well, so I did not get an episode out last week, so I apologize if you were looking for that, but I'm going to make it up to you this week with a really cool episode. This week, I actually am going to talk to Baker Levitt of the Black Rifle Coffee Company, and I guess it's a few months ago now, after I got back from New Mexico with Dan Staten from Elk Shape, I got a message in my Instagram inbox from Baker, and it just said, Black Rifle Coffee would like to send you some coffee. So I was like, that sounds interesting. So, the whole time I was in New Mexico with Dan, we pretty much started off every single morning. I was usually the first guy up because I had to get my camera gear ready, and kind of the customary thing we would do is I would just kind of wake up and hit the coffee pot on, and we always started every day with breakfast and a big pot of Black Rifle coffee. And that's where I kind of started to enjoy the coffee. And so anyway, when I got back, and then Baker sent me a big care package of coffee to try out, and they have a lot of really cool products for hunters. One of my favorites, they make the instant coffee, which is good, but one of my favorites is actually they have coffee bags, which is, basically just like a tea bag, but it's filled with coffee, obviously, so it's individually wrapped. It's really convenient to throw in your pack for backcountry trips or whatnot, or if you're doing a base camp, you can bring along a regular bag of coffee or whatnot. But I really like those coffee bags for backcountry trips and whatnot. You can just boil your water up, throw in a bag, and boom, you got a fresh cup of coffee right there. And it's not like, crappy like coffee. It's good coffee in a coffee bag. So I've been drinking those. And my other favorite from them is their Just Black coffee blend. Yeah, it's delicious, and I pretty much have started every morning in the last couple weeks with Black Rifle, so I highly recommend it. So anyway, after he sent me the coffee, we kind of connected and got a podcast on the calendar, and Baker is a really entertaining guy. He's a very interesting guy. He's worked with a lot of different outdoor industry companies. He's full-time with Black Rifle. He's also done some work, may still be doing some work with Kimber Firearms, and just does a lot of stuff in the space. He has another cool project that we talk about called the Hunter Recruitment Project. So just a really interesting, dynamic, energetic, funny kind of guy who's got a lot of entrepreneurial stuff going on, and just the kind of guy I really enjoy and get charged up from talking to. So I think you guys are really going to enjoy this week's episode. Also, excitingly, he set me up with a discount code for Black Rifle coffee. So if you're a coffee junkie, or you want to try out Black Rifle, you've probably heard of it. It is legit stuff. It's really good. I'm not just saying that because I like Baker, but their coffee is amazing. But you can use the code HuntersQuest20. That's HuntersQuest20, and you'll get 20% off your first order at Black Rifle Coffee, and give them a try. Or if you have a coffee lover in your life that you want to hook them up for Christmas, use that code HuntersQuest20 and get 20% off. They also have a really good subscription service where you can just kind of get coffee sent to you automatically. But yeah, in this episode, we talk about everything from hunting in Africa to his journey from being a southern guy and a new hunter into a Western hunter. You talk about business, and, of course, like I like to normally do, I do put him on the spot about his spirituality, and he talks about how the Bible and the book of Psalms and God really helped him get through a dark time in his life. And it was a cool story. So stick around for that. I do want to also give a few shout outs for some guys that left me reviews on Apple Podcasts. One person left as their name just a bunch of question marks and exclamation points. So if that's you, hit me up on Instagram. Also, let's see. tea bags, and Reverend Night Train. If you guys are out there and you're listening, drop me a line on Instagram at The Hunter's Quest, and I'll send you some swag. Also, I got a interesting comment from Kyle TR regarding some of the conversation I had with Johnny Mack on the last episode about COVID and kind of some of my spiritual beliefs. So, I'm sorry if I offend anyone out there with what I said, but, it's what I believe. I'm not saying you have to believe the way I believe, but I'm also not going to water down my beliefs. So go back and listen to that episode if you want. But Kyle TR, if you're out there, I hope I didn't offend you too much. And go ahead and hit me up on Instagram. I'd love to continue a dialogue if you want to talk more about what your comment was about. And also, I'm happy to send you some swag in the mail as well for leaving me a review. So anyway, guys, if you get a minute and you can, if you get a minute and you would like to support the show, as always, it's very helpful if you can leave me a written review and or a 5-star rating on Apple Podcast. Also, please go to YouTube, subscribe to the channel. Just search my name, Hunter McWaters, and you'll find my YouTube channel. I am really looking forward to releasing the video series that I shot and produced in Kodiak this year. It's going to be an awesome video series. We came back with 3 really good blacktail bucks, and my buddy's was 100+ inch, just monster blacktail. And the way the story went is really cool. However, I ordered a new computer on November 1st, and due to supply chain issues, it's not going to be here till the end of December. And my old computer I'm on right now just will not handle the footage. So I'm kind of sitting on my hands at a standstill, getting those films out, but they will be out, early 2022. I'm looking forward to that. So please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Search my name, Hunter McWaters. And anyway, again, I just want to say one last time, it also really helps me and it helps to support the show if you will give Black Rifle Coffee a try. Like I said, I'm not just saying it. I've been drinking this stuff for a couple months now and using several of different products, and it's legit. It's great coffee. And if you use my code HuntersQuest20, you will save 20% and you will be doing me a favor as well as getting some awesome coffee. So please do that. And please enjoy this episode. I know you will. Baker is a very entertaining guy. So go ahead and enjoy this episode, and please share with friends and family, and we will see you guys on the next one. Thanks. If you guys are just joining us, I'm here with my guest, Baker Levitt, from Black Rifle, but also other companies as well. You do a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So I am a hunting community manager for Black Rifle Coffee. I consulted with Black Rifle for 6 years. I think I linked up with Black Rifle like within its first year of existence. Mm-hmm. And then I own a marketing company called Digital Mongoose.
Okay.
And I'm full-time at Black Rifle, and I also own this marketing company. I've got a handful of employees that just do phenomenal work, but I work with a bunch of different brands in the space, in the outdoor space, consulting, social media, how to do stuff. My primary, I think what I'm probably best at is telling you what not to do.
Yeah.
Like anybody can copy someone else's success. Like that's really easy.
Sure.
Like, oh, I'm going to start a coffee company that's going to go public. That's not, I know I can do that. But like the things that you don't see are what happens on the backside, and what goes into stuff like that. And mistakes that have been made, money lost, deals screwed up because of human error. Mm-hmm. And maybe sometimes rushing into stuff or, just bad, I call it the good idea fairy, just bad ideas. And that's mainly that's what I'm really good at. It's like, hey man, like, the basics are the basics. Blocking and tackling is blocking and tackling. Like the basics are the basics for a reason. Or it's like exercise, fitness. Like someone gets into weightlifting or powerlifting, and they get bored with basic barbell work, and they see all this shit on Instagram, people working with bands and chains and all that stuff. Or I need to be doing the conjugate method. It's like, no, stick to basic barbell work.
Yeah.
And so that's, the good idea for people like, oh, well, we need to think outside the box. It's like, no, you don't. No, you don't. You don't need to think outside of
Just
shit,
do the
man.
box well.
Stay in the box, because
Yeah.
that's how it works. Like, you stay in that box and you're going to be fine. But you start venturing out into some of these harebrained ideas.
Right.
I hear it all the time. Like, dude, it drives me crazy, man.
I hear you, man.
Yeah. So Black Rifle, I started consulting with Black Rifle 6 years ago, and I'm 45 years old, and I've been hunting for 3 decades.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm like a good hunter, but like, I think you'd be really hard pressed to find someone that has as much fun as I do doing it.
Nice.
Like, I always hunt with my friends. I rarely do solo stuff. Like,
yeah, I'm not big on the solo stuff either. It's more enjoyable when you can share it with somebody.
Yeah, exactly, man. And like, if you're a solo, like, do-it-yourself solo person, like, I think you're a bit of a serial killer. Case in point, Dan Staten. I love Dan. I'd say this to Dan's face. Dan Staten is a weird dude. He's a peculiar guy. He really is. I'd say it to his face. And he knows it. And guess where Dan's at peace? By himself, with his little Pop-Tart abs, little ravioli abs that are just perfect, out in the wilderness, in a foot of snow, freezing his skinny little ass off. But so I remember my good friend Sloan, when he worked for Backbone Media. Sloan is now the hunting community manager. He has my job at Yeti.
Gotcha.
And they had this short film called Place of Peace. And it's about Bobby Farmer, who was a third group guy. And if for those listening, and you included, please watch this short film. It's called Place of Peace. And so Bobby was super active overseas in the War on Terror, saw a lot of bad stuff, did a lot of bad stuff, came back, had dealt with issues, low adrenaline withdrawal and PTSD and all that stuff, and the pills and the booze. And I think he had a pistol in his mouth one night at the kitchen table, and remembered he forgot to turn the light off in the barn. So before he blew his head off, he walked out to the barn to turn the light off and saw this old bow. One arrow, grabbed a hay bale, started hadn't shot it in God knows how long, started shooting this arrow into this target.
Yeah.
He did it all night and it didn't kill himself. Wow. And so we came up with the term therapy 20 paces at a time. And I just thought, man, that's really, really cool. And, like Evan and Matt from Black Rifle, like Evan's the CEO, Matt's co-founder. I call Matt like the number 2, like titles, whatever. Matt's the number 2 guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I gotcha.
And I just remember thinking, like, man, that'd be cool. So I actually bought them their first bows.
Oh, nice.
I bought them a Hoyt, each a Hoyt, and I got Logan Stark a Hoyt, and paid for them out of my own pocket. My good friend at Hoyt, Evan Williams, gave me a discount, but I still paid cash. And so I gave them the bows, and Black Rifle headquarters in Salt Lake City, and so I had Evan take them over to the Easton Range and got them dialed in. I was like, how'd they do? And he was like, he's like, are you sure these guys have never shot? I was like, no. He's like, well, Evan's the better shot. He goes, but Matt's a natural. And I was like, all right, so I'll share that tidbit of information with them, and because they're both psychotically competitive, with each other, and just in general in life. And the whole goal of that was to get them into hunting and to get them. It wasn't because they have PTSD. They don't, that I'm aware of, or I've never seen any. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but I just was like, hey man, like, I'm gonna buy them these bows because I want this company to expand in the hunting space. I think it's a natural progression.
Wow.
And so
you were like integral in getting Black Rifle in that direction, huh?
I'm not going to sit here and say that I am responsible for it, but I am responsible for it. and listen, man, I did it for selfish reasons.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to sit here and say, noble conservation, Bob. I'm not saying, no, that's not why I did it. Yeah. I did it because I knew that the things that the core competencies of the company, veteran initiatives, Pro 2A, serving great coffee to great Americans, there's no way on my best day, I'm as good as Evan at that on his worst day. I can't compete with him in those verticals because that's his life. However, all of them combined can't hold a candle to me with 3 decades of hunting experience. Yeah. So that was I thought, okay, how can I be a wolf amongst wolves? Okay, well, if I can get it to a point where I'm leading us into the hunting vertical, that's how I can thrive in the company. Nice. And so that was my plan, and it's actually worked. And this summer we had a conversation. It's time to expand, and the hunting came up, and it's like, there's no other person but you. And so,
awesome.
I started in mid-August, and we're moving right along.
Yeah, and Black Rifle's such a big voice in that community, and like I got a chance to go to TAC this year and met
Mhm.
Tier and some of the other dudes, and
Here's a great guy.
yeah, and just a really cool company. I love it says on the back of, I think on some of your coffee bags it says like coffee for people who love America.
Yep, that's exactly what it says. Yeah, Tier's awesome. Tier's a 20-year Green Beret,
Yeah.
still in the guard.
Yeah,
And
he's the man, dude. I did a little bit of like podcasting with him, just like in the field, and really enjoyed meeting him.
well, you talk to what's really cool is you spend time around guys like that have spent a lot of time in different special units, and you realize what it takes to thrive in those environments. So Tier is a sergeant major. That is the highest rank an enlisted soldier can obtain in the U.S. Army. So he's basically in like a general kind of sort of.
Yeah.
And so he's had to navigate that total environment. And great guy, always in a good mood. Always, even when he's pissed, like he'll call me, like, "Hey man, I need to vent to you for a second." I'm like, "All right, dude, let's hear it." Like he's just a positive. Even when he's bitching, he's positive about it. I've never seen anything like it. Like he's got this way of complaining, like in a really upbeat manner. Like I need to work on that shit because I just lose my mind. But so it's great. Big announcement yesterday. I'm very limited in what I can and can't say, but it's public knowledge now. Black Rifle is going public. We had a $1.7 billion valuation, which is crazy. But if you've been involved with the brand as long as I have, like I'm not, and this is going to sound so stupid, I am not the least bit surprised. Like I'm not blown away. I'm not like over the moon. I'm not, okay, like what's next, Evan? So like if you look at Evan Hafer, and like I'm not trying to earn my Evan Hafer, ass kissing merit badge, but like I'm not a leader, okay, so to speak. I am a guy, I'm a team player. I'm a very strong team player. I'm a spoke in a wheel. I can carry the weight of like 3 or 4 spokes. I can do a lot. And like you're pushing a rock up a hill, I'm going to be there, both shoulders behind it, pushing as hard as I got.
Yeah.
Evan was a Green Beret. He was part of the invasion of Iraq at the age of like 20 or 21 or 22, super young. In his late 20s, 27, 20, 29, he's managing parts of northern Afghanistan for the CIA. Okay.
Wow.
That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
And then starts a coffee company while serving his country as a Green Beret and a contract with the CIA, and starts this coffee company with $1,800. And now it's worth $1.7 billion.
Wow.
Evan's 44.
That's amazing.
I think what's really fascinating, man, is like, it's all hard work. Like Evan, middle-class family, Matt Best, middle-class family, Jared Taylor, middle-class family, Richard Ryan, poor, Logan Stark, like middle-class, dad drove a truck, and no rich relatives, no crazy inheritance. None of them won the lottery. I would say none of them are like psycho brilliant people. They're not like professional athletes. You just learn that like what hard work and just grit can accomplish. Like I learned one time sitting in a room with them, like the one thing I think that it was like Evan and Matt and like a couple other like special mission unit guys that Evan's friends with. Special mission unit is like Delta or Ground Branch of the CIA or like SEAL Teams. I think it was like 2 of those other guys in the room. And like, we're just sitting there talking, and I was just kind of looking around, and I was like, so what do these guys have? Like Matt's 6'2", 220, silver spoon, good looking dude, super strong. But like Evan's like 5'8", and like Terry, who I think Terry was there. Terry's like 5'7" on a good day. I don't remember who the other guy was, but he was like 5'6". And it's just like, what the fuck, man? Like what's going on? Like here I have like, this like body of Adonis, body of David looking dude. And then you have like these little, I'm 5'10", so they're short guys, whatever.
Yeah. And
it's just self-control. Same thing with my brother. So my brother was a Force Recon Marine. My brother was basically like, truly, my brother was like a little piece of shit, growing up. He was a loser. And like, he was a pothead. Okay. Like, and we're talking like in the 90s.
Yeah.
So he's a 90s pothead. Okay. Which is just kind of, whatever.
Like super baggy jeans, chain wallet kind of guy?
No, not that. He was just a shithead. Okay. And we were like, you got to do something. You need to go away or join the military. So he joined the Marine Corps, and like he was a Force Recon Marine from 98 to 2005, deployed and all that stuff. And his last deployment was Northern Africa, and the level of suffering he saw made him want to help people. So now he's a physician. He's a Stanford fellow. Like,
nice.
He went to medical school, and then he went to did a fellowship at Stanford, which is like one of the hardest ones in the world to get into. And I look at my brother, and it's just like, he's not like super intelligent. He works his ass off. It's just self-control. So, and just grit and discipline and the ability to say, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to stick my nose in this book, or I'm going to sit here and I'm not leaving this desk until I solve this problem. And that's one of the things that like Evan and those guys have in spades, like Evan in particular, and it's been really impressive to be a part of that.
Yeah. Well,
and you learn so much from observing people. Like I've always been in the circle of friends, but like not until recently have I kind of worked my way into the center of the business. And like I have a saying, like, I want to create the news. I don't want to be the news. Like you'll see me in like some of the older content and stuff, but like, I don't want to be in front of the camera. Like I don't give a shit about that. Like I've got like 12,700 Instagram followers. I probably should have about 300, because I think it's about 300 people actually give a shit about what I do. But like, if I wanted that, I could have had that.
Yeah.
But like, for me, I could have been one of the guys that focused on trying to be in the content and be out in front of the camera and all this crazy stuff. But like, I was more interested in just observing and learning and watching from these people. And I've done that. And it's been extremely helpful for me, just in life in general. And it's just helped me be more successful.
Yeah. And you talk about your brother and stuff too, but I mean, you're no schmo either. I know you went to NYU for grad school, not an easy school to get into, and you've done some cool things in your career. So, I mean,
it's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
Yeah. And like kind of bring that full circle back into hunting. Do you think you guys learned any of or do you think you learned any of your grit or your hard work from the outdoors, or where did that kind of come from?
No, dude, I've always kind of gotten a kick out of that shit. Like, so my dad was a Green Beret for 22 years. My dad went through the second Q course of all time. And my dad got his CIB, his combat infantryman's badge in Laos in 1960. So my dad spent 2 years in Laos, 2 years in Cambodia. He did 2 tours in Vietnam. So he was 6 tours total in Southeast Asia. And my dad died in 1981 of a heart attack. I was 5. My brother was 8 weeks old. My mom was a graduate.
Wow. Dang.
And that's a long, long, long time ago. And the one thing for me has always been like, if you really want to fucking piss me off, like you want to fight, like feel sorry for me. That's always been like, my mother would tell you, I've always wanted to raise myself, and she didn't have the strength to fight me on it. And my mother will tell you, she said, I've never in my life worried about Baker, not ever one time, no matter where he's been. I've always known he'll be okay. My mother worries to this day, like makes herself sick. It's like, he's a physician, wife, 2 kids, like, like totally by the book life.
Right.
Mine's a little different. But the thing for me is like, if I'm cold, okay, I always, and wet, and it's raining and I'm miserable, I always kind of default back to like Chris Irwin, who was the president of Kill Club. And I think like Chris has been cold and wet. And if Chris can fucking do it, I know I can. No offense to Chris. Chris was a gold squad. I have a ton of respect for him. And then if I'm out west and my feet start hurting or something, I always think about Crispy. So he's got one leg, and it's like, I have 2 feet, both hurt. I bet he would trade spots with me in a New York Minute if he could feel his other foot. Here I am. Yeah. So like, it's basically the thing that kind of pushes me through and like it motivates me is like my friends and stuff. And like, I've always viewed myself as like a starter. Like I've always felt that I belonged on the field, and like my entire life, career, high school, college, and like just solving problems and making decisions based on companies I work with. Like I just need to be involved, and like I just kind of just push my way through stuff. And always, and ultimately, like, and I hunt with outfitters a lot. Like I travel. I mean, I've hunted on 4 continents and 20-something states. Like I've done a lot of stuff with outfitters, and it's like, even when it sucks, it's like, oh, I'm paying for this. Like I can't complain. Like I'm here because no one's forced me to be here. It's just me.
Right.
So it's been an interesting journey, but I think like I truly get better. Like, dude, I hated hunting when I was like in high school.
Oh, really?
Oh, dude, sitting still. Oh,
Yeah.
that's back before trail cams and people didn't know. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have cell
Yeah.
phone. No one knew shit about wind, stuff like that. Like, I mean, what
Yeah.
like what does wind mean? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, man. How's your season been going so far?
Oh God, holy shit, man. So early September, I was out in Curtis, Nebraska,
Uh-huh.
doing spot and stalk mule deer. Got a nice 4x4 full velvet,
Nice. Ooh, nice.
epic. I was shooting. I wanted it. There was a 3x4 that was probably 12 inches taller than him, and that's what I wanted. But like I shot the wrong deer. But still, if you look on my Instagram, dude, like it's a hammer. You know, it's like
Nice.
I can't complain about that.
I saw
And
a
then
group of mule deer in New Mexico when I was with Dan, and it was like the first big mule deer I'd seen close. And
right,
like I thought they were elk at first because I'm looking at like southern whitetails, and like
right.
it's not even the same like ballpark.
I'm fascinated by mule deer, dude. So like, can you?
Ooh, nice. Dang,
That's
dude.
mule
Yeah,
deer.
that is a hammer.
And I walked up and I went, God damn it, I shot the wrong deer. And everybody's like, that thing's awesome. I was like, yeah, but it was the wrong one. And then 2 weeks later, I was out in Colorado elk hunting and put that 381-inch beast on the ground.
Good night, dude.
Hold on. Get back.
That thing looks as massive as like my legs or something.
G3s are 23 inches.
Jeez.
And then the next day, I got that bear.
Oh, wow. Nice, man.
My first bear, 400-pounder. The game warden, he goes, "This your first bear?" I said, "Yes, sir." He goes, "You'll never shoot another one bigger than this." And I was like, I'll take it. It was, dude, no hair slippage, like chocolate phase, like just gorgeous.
Nice. Was that archery or rifle?
Rifle.
Okay.
And then back here in Georgia, and then we're in pre-rut right now. So when this is over, I'm gonna throw a couple things in the truck and I'm heading back up to the farm. We were at the farm this past weekend. Shot some does. So whitetail hunting, I've shot a couple does this year. I think I've shot 3. And I just have this weird feeling like this weekend's we're gonna put some horns on the ground. Like I got a couple bucks that are daylighting themselves.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And like had one pop out on camera yesterday. It's just like, oh my God, where has he been?
Nice.
So yeah, I have a really good feeling about this weekend.
Nice.
But yeah, as far as like how my season's going, like I don't think it could go any better.
Yeah.
Like, it's just one of those years so far. And then I've got I'm going out to Falco for Genesis. I've got a duck hunt out there in Oklahoma.
Nice.
And then we have I'll do axis and whitetails in Texas as
Sweet.
well.
Cool, man.
So pretty pumped.
Yeah, it sounds like a great year. I just crawled out of the deer woods this morning, actually. I resorted to, this is the first time I've done this, I think. Well, maybe second. I actually hunted in a ditch. Have you ever done that?
What do you like? Sat on the ground in a ditch?
Like in the ditch. So like just my head was popping out over and I could see the deer, like trench warfare style.
No, I've never done that.
It was interesting.
No, that's not true. I have. I did that. So my family, we had a farm outside of Savannah called Rockingham Farms, which is like 1,100 acres.
Nice.
We actually sold it back in April to the city of Savannah. And yes, I did. I shot 2 button bucks with a 30-30 rifle.
Nice.
From a ditch.
Nice.
That was 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Thought I was the man. Thought I was the man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I was like, damn it, man, button bucks. What am I doing? But that's when I was in grad. No, it wasn't 20 years ago. That's when I was in grad school because I was just like I was getting as many deer as I could and I was getting as much meat as I could.
Yes.
To take back to New York City.
For sure.
And like all the members of my gym, like I'd give everybody like a bunch of venison. Like I had a rental car like literally packed with coolers. And when I say packed, dude, I mean packed.
That's awesome.
Really packed. Yeah.
So we're fellow southern men that have gone out west and what's that whole journey been like for you, like going from a southern whitetail guy to out west? Because
So
you mentioned earlier about how the turkeys here are harder to kill, and I think a lot of guys sometimes there's shade thrown about whitetail fit and deer hunting is like easy or something, but like I've been to Alaska this year hunting blacktails. I just got back from a pronghorn hunt in Wyoming. I was in New Mexico with Dan, and yeah, these like does that I saw this morning were 10 times more skittish than any other animal I've seen all year. Like,
anyone that talks trash about southern whitetails doesn't know what they're doing, doesn't know what they're talking about.
For sure.
Like you'll bust a mule deer, he'll run 50 yards and turn broadside and look at you.
Mm-hmm.
Southern a whitetail's going to run for 3 miles.
You'll never see him.
And if it's a big buck, first of all, if it's a big buck, you're not going to see him.
Right.
He's just going to turn around and walk away and never come back.
Yeah.
So I tell people, I say, if you can target a southern whitetail, a buck, and hunt and kill that buck with a bow, you can kill anything on this continent.
For sure.
And I don't think anyone would disagree with that.
I'm right. I agree with you.
It's like elk hunting. Like, listen, man, elk hunting is easy. Elk hunting is really easy. I've been elk hunting 6 times and killed 6 elk. 4 of those have been on the first day. Find the elk, they're easy to kill. People can argue with me. They can fight. They can say, I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't give a shit. So my first 4 elk I killed on the first day with a bow on public land.
Wow.
Out west.
Nice.
And I'm not a public land guy. I don't give a shit. I'm a let's go hunting guy.
Yeah.
You got a spot on public land, let's go. You got a spot with an outfitter, it's got good stuff, let's go. Like, whatever. I don't judge. I don't ask. Bow or rifle, public land or private. Like, who gives a shit? Like,
right.
Fuck you, man. Like, I don't tell people how to manage their land. If you're in Texas and you want to put 3 high fences on your property, like if you want a high fence, your high fence, your high fence. And bring in zebras and giraffes and shit. I'm all about it. Do it. And you'll post pictures of the giraffe you shot in Texas, and I will laugh at you. But listen, it's not about me. I'm a stranger. Why do you care what I think?
Right.
But and then
I see why you get along with Cable from Lone Star.
Oh, he's awesome. I love that guy.
Yeah.
Cable is great. I talked to him yesterday. But like, we talk about the turkey hunting, and like the thing that breaks my heart is Western hunters are like, oh my God, that's so stupid. Turkey hunting is so stupid. It's like, hey man, like I get it. You're out mule deer hunting and elk hunting in the fall, and like you see flocks of 100. That's birds on their fall pattern.
Right.
Yeah, you could go kill them with a baseball bat sometimes, but I want you to go do that in the spring. Take your baseball bat and your turkey call. No gun or bow. Just take your baseball bat and go get one.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. But so back to your question. So when I grew up, I'm from Savannah, Georgia, so for people listening. And when I grew up, I'll do it 2 ways. You grow up as a Southerner and you want to go to Africa, or you want to go to, hold on one second. You want to go to Africa, or you want to go to out west and hunt elk or bears or whatever. Like, you either want to go to Africa or you want to go out west. And so for me, it was always Africa. The call was Africa. So I hunted in Africa several times before I hunted out west.
Yeah.
And the whole Western hunting thing, man, it's beautiful. It's stunning. I love it. I think it's great. I'll kill an elk every fall, and for the rest of my life that I'm physically capable of doing that. Yeah. I will go out west every fall and shoot one. I'm really interested in the mule deer, just because I think, like, honestly, man, I think they are the coolest species.
Yeah.
Like a big, robust, like wide, boxy muley, super badass.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's such a fragile species. Like, if you look at whitetail, if you look at places where whitetails and mule deer cohabitate, and if you look at that over time, your whitetail, so your mule deers are going to drop 1 fawn, whereas your whitetails, it'll trigger a mechanism, they will always drop 2 to try and overtake the mule deer population.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah, it actually really is.
Huh.
But yeah, I'm really fascinated with the mule deer. The only problem with mule deer is mule deer tastes like shit.
Really?
Fact.
Huh.
Hold on. Melissa, don't we think mule deer's gross? Yeah, we don't like it.
But you like know how to like take care of meat and cook it right and all that, and it's still not good.
I mean, every once in a while you'll get a decent mule deer. I've had one decent. Yeah, they're not, dude. Yeah. Come on. Let's be honest with each other. Let's not act like it's good.
I've never eaten it, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's nasty. It eats sage all day. It's a nasty bastard.
But pronghorn eats sage, and they're pretty good.
I think that's a stupid animal.
Well, have you hunted them before?
No. Once in West Texas. I have no interest in pronghorns, but like I've got friends that are like totally legit and hooked on it, and like they're really good at it. And
Yeah.
I'm impressed by it. I don't have any interest. So for me to take a week off and like go out west and go hunting and something, like it's going to be elk.
Yeah.
It's going to be elk.
No, I hear you.
It's just got to be like pronghorn. Like pronghorn's way down on the bucket list. Like bears, like that bear I shot wasn't planned. It was just kind of like a bonus bear. But yeah, like for me going forward, the falls will be elk. And then like I'd like to get on like a really good quality like trophy mule deer hunt like next year. Like I'd love to get, like I've got a really nice muley on the wall, but like I want one of those just tanks, super. Yeah. And you know what's interesting about the mule deer? It's like my idea of a trophy mule deer. Like I know so little about the species. Like it doesn't have to be like a 5x5 or 6x6 or this or that. It's just like I'm so new to the species that like it's just what I like. Like I just look like, oh man, he's like, that's a 3x3. I was like, yeah, dude, but that thing's like 35 inches wide and a yard tall.
Yeah,
like that is a cool ass looking. Yeah, exactly. I'll take it with like Coke can bases all day, any day of the week. I'd shoot that. So
yeah, they're definitely interesting, man.
And then I've got like on the bucket list, I've got and like I've shot some really good whitetail, but like I don't have like that monster.
Yeah.
I'd like to get that. I want to get that. And then I'm going to go back to Africa this summer. I've been over there a bunch. I haven't been in a few years, but like I've been kind of the bugs kind of biting me in the ass. And then I want to take Melissa with me. She just got into hunting last year and she's shot 4 or 5 whitetail now with the rifle.
Nice.
Dude, she heart shots them.
Every time.
The perfect shot every single time. I've never seen anything like it.
Dude, I've always heard that women are usually better marksmen or at least learn faster than men.
No, because they follow instruction.
Right. There's no macho crap. Yeah. They're just like, okay, and they do it.
No expectations, so they just do what they told and just normally 12 ring it.
Yeah.
Whereas guys are like, yeah, I'm a dude, I shoot a gun. So
totally.
So yeah, it's been a good year. It's going to be, there's a bunch of cool stuff going on. Like we've got a HRP, a hunter recruitment event this weekend where we're taking a bunch of people that have never been hunting.
Yeah. That's an interesting project.
Yeah. So that's, everyone starts arriving tomorrow. We've got,
how many hunters you got coming?
So we have Julia Stallings, who's on Team USA shooter, Matt Freitas, who's a writer for Coffee or Die magazine. Josh Golke's a writer for Coffee or Die magazine. Emily Philippi works for an optics company called Right On. Robert Motorelli, who's head of e-commerce for Black Rifle Coffee. Stephen Robinson, who lives down here in Florida. And then my brother Mitchell, my little 12-year-old nephew Gavin. We got Mark Woolley, myself, Jamie Shire, and Michael Howell.
Nice.
So packed house. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 people.
Nice. And do you do that on your property?
Yeah, our property in Americus, Georgia.
Nice. Okay.
So it'll be fun. Like we did one a few weeks ago, and everyone we're batting 1,000. We had the first hunter not kill a doe, but she missed 4 times, so
she had a chance.
So that's not a fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what. One of the shots was like 80 yards. You know, I think she was just uncomfortable with I think she wanted the shot to be too perfect.
Yeah.
Like, deer will stay still for a while, but sometimes you just don't get the perfect shot.
Yeah. So and
it's a whitetail and it's a 30-06, so just shoot him in the shoulder.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to shoot him in the heart. You could one shoulder down, that's all you need.
It's done. But going back to the Africa thing, man, like the one thing that like I've always, well, first of all, there's still so many cool hunts on North America that I still want to do. So I'm like, I can't really justify going to Africa. But the other thing is too, is like the meat is such a big deal for me. And like just the idea of like not being able to bring my meat home, I just can't.
Would you rather take the meat home and put it in your freezer with all your other meat, or would you rather give it to an orphanage and feed 100 kids?
That's true too. That's a pretty cool program as well.
It's extremely cool. Like you don't understand. So like if you were to come with us, so first of all, Africa is the most affordable hunt on the planet. It doesn't get cheaper. So for $2,500, you can shoot 6 plains game animals. It's phenomenal. Flight's going to cost you about $1,500. Tip is 10% of what you spend, so $2,500. Your tip's $250. You tip $100 to service people, so you're all in it for under $5,000 for sure. Like, and there's no hidden costs or fees. You don't have to get shots or any of that shit. But what was I going to say?
What countries do you go to?
South Africa.
Okay.
Yeah. So Africa is super affordable. And then if we were to land in Johannesburg and I were to say, all right, man, I want you to tell me every town and community that we go through that has a hunting concession attached to it. And then I want you to tell me the ones that don't have a hunting concession attached to it. You get 100 on the quiz because you drive through town.
What does that mean? It has a hunting concession attached to it?
A hunting operation attached to it where there's hunting near it. So there's food, there's jobs, there's meat, there's people, there's schools, there's clothes, like barren wasteland where there's no concessions versus a town that has a hunting concession. There's work and things for people to do. And
so are they on like managed kind of, I don't know, fenced off area, or not even fenced, but just like managed areas? Because I did some work in Africa in the country is slipping my mind right now. But anyway, Uganda, and like I didn't see a single wild animal of any type. It was like every single thing that walks had been killed and consumed like decades ago.
Yeah, so most of South Africa is high fenced, but it's not like a small game farm in Africa is 10,000 hectares. That's 25,000 acres.
Wow. So
that's a small one. Like, oh, cool, you have a little farm, really neat. I'm serious.
Yeah.
And the places that aren't fenced are owned by the state, and that's why you don't see any animals.
Gotcha.
They're not managed.
Right.
So what they do on the game farms, game ranches, whatever you want to call them, food, shelter, resources, jobs, predation control. It's managed. So you have unmanaged versus managed. Management, thriving; unmanaged, non-existent, desolate. There's nothing there.
Right.
And you'll have people like, oh man, Africa, that's cheating, like, hunting a high fence. It's like, oh, okay, sure. Have you ever been in a high fence? No, probably not. You're just bitching on the internet about something you know nothing about.
Right.
Because you're just jealous of someone getting to go do something that you can't, nor will you ever be able to do.
Yeah.
So and Africa's not hard hunting. It's just awesome. Like, dude, it's awesome. You're in Africa. And then like probably the best part about going to Africa and hunting over there is like you come back and you're basically off social media for a week, and you come back and you see all these people running around with their hair on fire. Like, oh my God, we live in the worst country in the world. America is so horrible. It's like, hey, dude, I just came from Africa. Yeah. Let me tell you about horrible conditions. Yeah. If you don't know shit, shut your mouth. You got no idea what you're talking about. Sure. It just puts things in perspective, man. But like that, like honestly, man, like going to Africa with my friends is without a doubt my favorite thing in the world to do. Like that is like, I've never laughed harder, and I laugh a lot, like than I have at some of the stuff we've done in Africa. I mean, like falling on the ground, like you're removed from society, and you're removed from, the pressures of work and stress of work and people asking you questions and having to be a decision maker and all this crazy stuff, and like social media and media in general, it's going to be negative. And you get over to Africa and you're just like, holy shit, dude. On my worst day, I got it better than anyone over here has it on their best day.
Yeah. Like poor people in America are rich over there.
Well, poor people in America are also fat.
Yeah, that's the I've been thinking about that a lot lately. It's so weird. Like it's the first time in human history where poor people are the fat ones.
The fat ones. Yeah. That's not how it's supposed to work, man.
No.
So, it's like nothing I've ever experienced. And I think everyone should do it at some point in their life. Like, dude, it's amazing.
Okay. You kind of talked me into it.
Well, we're going this summer if you'd like to come. You run a camera, right?
I do.
Maybe we can get you a massive discount on the trip if you run some camera work. Seriously, dude, it's legit. Like it's wild. It's wild.
It sounds cool. And like you said, the bell kind of went off. You always hear about hunting and conservation, but like the bell went off when you said that is because like I've been to Africa, not on a game ranch, but I've seen like African countryside. Like we drove for hours to the countryside. I did not see a single wild animal, like not a deer far away, like nothing. So that really shows me right there is like, this is legit. Like the only places there are animals is because there's hunters coming there. And if they weren't those, there would be nothing because everything would have gotten killed and consumed decades ago.
I will give you a fact. If you want a species to thrive, monetize it. Look at lions, look at sheep. The richest hunters in the world hunt sheep and hunt lions.
Mm-hmm.
Why are those populations, like, I'm not going to say they have unlimited resources to help those populations, but like the Wild Sheep Foundation, who actually Black Rifle, I'm in the process. I was talking to Keith last night. We're in the process of working out a sponsorship deal with them.
Nice.
They can raise like $7 million in 30 minutes at an auction.
Wow.
And that's to preserve and help sheep. And sheep are a super fragile species. Like CWD and all that stuff just kicks their ass. Like it literally kicks their ass. And pneumonia beats the shit out of them. And like, they're just super fragile. But yeah, like you could, and like my favorite thing in Africa is just like going with, I've taken, I don't know, probably 50 people over the years that have never been. And like, you just see their faces and they're just like, hey man, what is that? I'm like, that's an impala. Can I shoot it? Well, you can, but maybe we wait for a bigger impala.
Yeah.
Okay. 2 days later, they've seen 400 impala, and it's like, oh, I get it now. I get it. So yeah, you just like, and you see someone like they see their first giraffe like in the wild, and you just don't forget those moments. Like they're just like, what? And giraffe are huge. Like, dude, they're huge. A giraffe's ankle is that big around.
Jeez.
Like they're just, and like their heart is like this, and then you see Cape Buffalo and stuff, and then you just see cool stuff that you don't get to see, and like there's no light pollution, dude. You want to talk about camera work? Dude, there's not a drizzle of light pollution over there. Wow. And this is another interesting, in the winter, which is basically like our fall in Florida.
Yeah.
There's no bacteria in the air. Literally none. Like it's super pure. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
People don't realize that. It's awesome. And then like, cool, like you eat like a king. The service is unbelievable. It's just,
dude, the food over there, I was like expecting to like lose weight and the food not to be good. It was bomb. So good. I gained like probably 10 pounds over there.
Yeah. So I took Logan Stark, who's a VP of media for Black Rifle. He's a partner at the company. Logan and I went 6 years ago. And like, I remember one night, like, yeah, we're having like warthog ribs. And I was like, oh, cool. And like and a warthog rib, they're like that long and like that. The bone it's concave or convex, however you do it, but like they're like that wide. And like he sat there and was just gnawing on it. And I was just like, he's like, oh, this is amazing. And I was like, that thing tastes like a fart, dude. Like that's gross. But like Cape Buffalo is amazing. Eland's amazing. Impala Schnitzel is by far my favorite meal over there. It's unbelievable. Yeah, everything about that place is great.
That's awesome. Well,
I highly recommend anyone listening to go. I think the main thing that it's intimidating. It's Africa, and it's like, oh my god, it's Ernest Hemingway and elephants and lions. No, dude, you can go over there and shoot plains game for $2,500.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, you kind of talked me into
it. Good
time. I heard you mention on another podcast that you're not a super religious guy, but on the same podcast, you mentioned God about 3 or 4 times. And that is sort of one of the themes of my podcast. So I'm interested in your take on what is if you have one, your spiritual connection to the outdoors and hunting, or do you feel there is one, or what's the relationship there with you?
So I grew up in the church, Methodist, covered this, went to church on Wednesdays, went to church on Sundays, went to church camp in the summers, spent our summers at church stuff, like heavily involved in the church.
Yeah. I
actually took some theology classes in college, hundreds, easy A's. And then I identify as a Christian, shoulder to shoulder with Christians, but just kind of started questioning my faith when I got into college and got older, which I think is normal for anybody. And like kind of started drifting, not to like atheism, but just kind of like drifting away from the church.
Yeah.
I think that's not an uncommon progression.
No, I
for
was the
people.
same.
And then I was in real estate at an early age, like 23, and like really killing it, like hundreds of thousands of dollars, and like built this empire, and hundreds of thousands of dollars a year at the age of 23, like,
Wow.
two, three, $400,000. Really good. And then the market crashed in 2008 and I lost everything. And I think one of the things that got me through that, God, please let me find this book. I'm glad you asked this question. Hold on, let me find it.
Yeah, find it.
Right here. That's what got me between 2008 and 2010.
Nice. Okay.
And I was married at the time. Got divorced, lost everything I had.
If you're just listening, it's a New Testament with Psalms, right?
Yeah, the faith sharing New Testament with the Psalms.
Cool.
So I would wake up every day and I would read a psalm.
Nice, dude.
And very, and like, I don't think you can, like, obviously like Leviticus and stuff like that is kind of out there, like don't mix, wool and cotton or whatever, but like,
don't boil a lamb in its mother's milk.
Yeah. But dude, that was like to keep people healthy. Like,
right. No, yeah. It all had purpose. It just makes
it did.
No sense now.
And a lot of the things we've done as a society that we did then, like slavery, like people still harp on that. It's like, it's illegal. Like we realized we screwed up. Like it was a bad thing. Like at the time, like it served a purpose, but then like, we're like, wait a minute, this is wrong, owning people. And now it's illegal.
Yeah.
And frowned upon, by the world. So
sure.
we make mistakes, but I just like, I don't see how people, I think if you're a person that runs around trying to disprove religion and that's your thing, that makes you one of the most, in my opinion, it makes you a very horrible person, because the basis of religion is faith. You just have to have faith. And it's like, okay, well, prove it. Well, I can't, you just got to have faith. And if you're a person that tries to steer someone away from that, I think that makes you a really, really bad dude or gal. Yeah. Like you're just a bad person. Like, and then if you look at, I think 72% of the U.S. population identifies as Christian.
I'm not sure the number, but yeah, probably.
I think it's 72%. And I think that if you can like look at the 10 Commandments and point something out that you disagree with, I would love to hear the argument about how it's a blueprint how to live your life as a good person.
For sure.
And you don't take it word for word. Don't believe everything that you read or see. I mean, my God, look at the media in today's day and age.
Oh, man.
5% of what they say is true.
Right.
So like if you're going to attack Christianity, you need to attack everything else at the same time.
Sure.
But yeah, I
think a lot of that stems from just like arrogance. Like people think that we as humans at this point have all the knowledge and science can prove everything, and if it can't be proven by science, like it's not real, and like that's just complete arrogance in my opinion.
If you want to talk about science being wrong, I've got data from the past 16 months, man. Like,
oh my gosh, yeah, that's a whole rabbit hole we could go on.
No, we could talk about that for days.
Yeah.
But like, I think religion Christianity stood the test of time. Okay. Like
and like you said, you were in that time, that really rough, raw period of time, and Psalms, which, I mean, it's not all like flowers and butterflies. Like there's some Psalms where it's like, he's basically talking about how he wants to kill himself. He wants to die. Like his enemies are about to kill him. Like he's asking God to like blot their names out of the book of life. Like there's some raw, real stuff in there.
Yeah.
And the fact that you were able to kind of fall back on that and it was there for you and encouraged you, that's really cool.
It was super rough. Like, I mean, imagine being like the king of the mountain, like top of the hill. Like I was the guy.
Yeah.
And then what's really hard, I was between 30 and 33 when all this was going on. And it's like, nothing in life prepares you for that,
right?
To lose everything. I lost $15 million. I lost everything I had.
Wow.
It's the best thing ever happened to me. Like without question, I wouldn't trade it for anything. If you said, I'm going to give you $25 million cash right now, but you got to go back and everything worked itself out, I'd be like, no, hell no. I'm
Nice.
much happier, but like I went and like sought out like my minister at my church. And I was like, hey, like, dude, I need some help. I don't know what,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to sit here and have you baptize me and say, oh, Jesus is the answer to everything. I was like, I need you to give me some like X's and O's,
Practical help,
practical advice.
Mm.
I don't want you to witness to me. Like, I don't want you to like, quote scripture and give me a bunch of hey haw shit. Like, I want you to just like at its most fundamental, like the most basic meaning, like help from Christianity. Like,
yeah,
I kind of butchered that sentence. Like, I want you,
I get it.
I want a common sense dose of what you have to offer. That's what I want you to give me. And he was like, he just handed me this book and he goes, every day I want you to, we start going through some shit, you start having a bad day, or the banks are calling and talking about foreclosing, or attorneys are calling and lawsuits are getting threatened, and you have partners that are suing other partners. And I mean, it was a nightmare, man. Like, and he was like, I want you to just pull this out and find a Psalm that works for you. And not every Psalm I would read would make sense. I'd be like, what,
Sure.
this is, like, I picked the wrong one. Let me pick another one. This is stupid.
Yeah.
Dude, like, seriously, 7 out of 10 times, man, like, just pick one. And like the first letter of Peter, like, just pick one and read it. And like, dude, you can, even if you're like not a believer, like, even if you're like, man, I don't believe in Jesus, I don't believe in Christianity, I think organized religion is stupid. There's no way you can read this and just take just an open mind approach to it, which is what I did. You take an open mind approach to it, it makes perfect sense to you.
Yeah.
So that
awesome.
it was very helpful for me.
Cool, man.
Very helpful. And I believe in, the church. I believe in organized religion. I support organized religion. I think that a religion, like most things in society today, they find the fringe and they seize on it. So like with everything, whether it be welfare is phenomenal. The only thing they talk about is the people that are taking advantage of it. They don't talk about how good it does.
Sure.
Or emergency medicine services or emergency medical service. Oh, they don't have insurance or freeload and they're riding the system. Okay. Yeah, there are people that do that, but like there's also people that weren't supposed to be born, but they are born and they're messed up and they've got brain issues and they can't think, they can't function properly. And like, what do you want them to do? Just wither away and die on the side of the road?
Right.
No, this is not North Africa. Like, this is America. Like, we take care of people here that need help.
Yes.
If you're hungry, we're going to get you food. But society focuses on the fringe. They focus on the Republic. I'm a Republican. I'm a conservative. I have been my whole life. I voted for Obama in 2008. If somebody wants to talk to me about that and talk shit, we can talk about it. But like, if you look at the fringe of my political party, I want nothing to do with them. Okay. Then you look at the fringe of the Democratic Party. The Democrats right now don't really want anything to do with these nut jobs. And then the same with the religious right. I don't want anything to do with those guys.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a centrist. I like stuff in the middle.
Sure.
Like, I'll hear this viewpoint, I'll hear that viewpoint. But like the people that like, what's the church in Kansas that says God hates bags?
Yeah. Something Baptist. I can't remember, but I know what you're talking about.
Is it? Yeah. So like those people, like, I don't have time for you.
Yeah. No, that's
what is crazy. I'm going to text you in like 3 hours.
Like, is it like North Point or something? Or anyway.
Church. Here's another piece of advice for people listening. Don't Google shit if you don't remember it. Force yourself to remember it.
Huh? Because that was my first thing. I was like, let me Google it really quick.
No, because you're not using your brain, man. You're not working that muscle out.
No, for sure.
Dude, that's one piece of advice. Force yourself to remember stuff.
Yeah.
You'd be amazed at how much quicker your recall will come about.
But yeah, going what you were saying, I mean,
Westfield Baptist Church.
Yes.
Westboro.
Yeah. I was close. I said North Point. But yeah, people forget that religion is man. Man is flawed and greedy and screwed up. Spirituality, like pure spirituality, like that's why you got helped from reading the Word of God, just pure, straight from the source, boom, into your soul. It helped. But sometimes religion, the church, screws up because they're people just like us.
Yeah, it happens all the time with the Catholic Church. Happens all the time with Jewish synagogues.
Yeah,
like nasty shit goes on in those places. But also a lot of good takes place.
Sure.
Like Sisters of the Poor, like there's a lot of really phenomenal organizations that do a lot of good, but no one talks about that because where we are now as a society, we focus on the negative. I'll give you $100 for every positive headline you can find on Fox.com or CNN.com today.
Yeah.
$100 a headline that's positive, man.
Right.
Everything's psychotically neutral.
Yeah.
Psychotically negative.
That's why I don't even read or watch the news ever. Like never.
Yeah, well, it's all brainwashing.
Yeah.
Like if you dude, like seriously, man, like if you were to just sit down and just have an unbiased approach and be like, I'm going to take an unbiased approach to an hour, 2 hours of CNN or 2 hours of MSNBC, and then 2 hours. Can I have a piece of that watermelon, sweetheart? And then 2 hours of Fox News. You would be shocked. You would be like, this is bullshit. Yeah. Like, what are these people talking about?
Right.
They just run around gaslighting each other.
Yeah. And imagine if instead of watching 2 or 3 hours of news every day, somebody read 2 or 3 hours of the Bible, or even another.
Come show them your abs. You don't see her abs? They're beautiful. So
imagine if somebody read something positive like the Bible or some other spiritual book or something for 2 hours instead of just zonking out in front of CNN and getting crammed full of fear and negativity, where we might be. Or go outside for 3 hours.
Read something about American history.
Yeah.
Do some research on a topic that like pisses you off. Like, okay, you watched the news yesterday. You're mad as a son of a bitch today. And the scary part is, I guarantee you, most of the people that are listening to this podcast, if you asked yourself, what were you mad about 2 days ago? They have to go back and check their social media. They won't. The outrage, I call it the outrage Olympics.
Yeah.
The cycle is so fast. It used to be 72 hours. Now it's less than 24 hours.
Wow.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, it is something else. It is something to behold.
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy world.
So it's all about here's another thing, dude. Like, how old are you?
34.
God almighty, you're still a child. So the thing that's interesting, man, is like, think about this. When's the last time you learned a new physical skill?
Well, I just started doing CrossFit about 2 years ago. So,
okay. So you're kind of revisiting childhood, physical movements and stuff. But like, think about this, man. Like, when is the last time you learned to do something else, something new?
I don't know. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I mean, I do new kind of stuff fairly frequently, probably more than the average person. I learned how to make a podcast 10 months ago.
So that's another thing someone can do, would be going out and learning a new physical skill instead of watching the news all day.
Oh, for sure. Pick up archery or whatever it is.
Yeah. So like last year I learned to shoot my compound bow left-handed.
Oh yeah.
And now
I heard about that. Yeah, that's crazy. Because of an injury, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you still doing CrossFit?
We own a CrossFit gym.
Oh, dang, dude. How many businesses do you run? You have to actually think about it. Break out your abacus. You're breaking out your abacus?
Well, no, because so I'll give you an honest answer. So most people don't answer that question honestly because they think it sounds cool to say that they're the CEO. Like all these self-help gurus out west, like, I'm the CEO of 7 businesses. You're a liar. You are an absolute bold-faced liar. You might have 7 LLCs, but you're not a chief executive officer of 7 companies. Like, that's just not possible. Yeah. So unless they're little shit companies. I'm big into crypto. That's a big part of my life. Crypto. Then we have some rental property. Then we have East Ormond Beach CrossFit, the gym, and then my company, Digital Mongoose, and then my job at Black Rifle.
Wow. Busy man. Is Doge going to come back? Is Doge coming back?
So my thing on and I'm not a financial advisor, so I'm a regular person. So,
or Dodge, whatever it's called.
You got to look at I think like Doge and I don't have any Doge, but I have millions of Shiba tokens. I have like 60 million Shiba tokens. So they're either going to go to zero or they're going to go higher. And if you look 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years down the road, will they be worth more then than they were today? Probably so. I would think so, because the names are catchy and there will always be millennials trying to get rich off of low price crypto stuff. I don't know. I mean, I think it's here to stay. I think they both are. I mean, so I mean, yeah, I wouldn't get rid of it at all. And I think the main thing is just patience.
For sure.
You know.
Yeah.
That would be my thing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, that's like way out of the subject matter. But anyway, dude, it's been awesome talking to you. Like, you're obviously a very busy dude. I could sit here probably and talk to you for a couple more hours, but I'm not going to do that to you. So, but I do want to just ask just closing question. What's next for Baker Levitt? What's on the horizon? What are you looking forward to or planning?
Oh,
could be personal or professional.
I need to, honestly, like, just growing Black Rifle's presence in space in the hunting and outdoor space.
Cool.
That's my thing. That's my goal.
Cool, man. Cool.
That's what I want to do.
Well, you guys are crushing it. So good work. And I appreciate you reaching out to me.
Yeah, man.
And glad we could connect.
All right, dude. I really enjoyed chatting with you, man.
Yeah, you too, bud.
Time.
Yeah, sounds good, man. I appreciate your time.
All right. Have a great day.
You too, man.